chat so we know you're here. Thank you guys for joining. Yay.
So we're gonna get
okay.
started.
So
Yeah, go ahead, Courtney.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started because we have not paid for Zoom, so we will get kicked out at 40 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen with y'all. Oh, disabled it. Sony, I'm gonna have to take over the invite real quick.
That's fine.
For host. All right. Sony, if you can make me host again, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, got you. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. All righty. So thank you guys again for tuning in. We know you guys are all busy and have a lot going on. So we appreciate you guys tuning in, going out of your way to join us for this workshop. My name is Coach Courtney, and I'm the Assistant Program Manager for the Sam Strong Fitness Center. And I want to take a moment and let my team introduce themselves, give a little background on themselves and what they're excited about for this program, and then we'll jump right in. So we'll go Sony, Orlando, and then John. Sony, if you want to jump in.
Perfect. So I don't have myself on site. I mean, I'm on site, so of course you can't see me, but my name is Sony Reina. I am the Exos Program Manager for the Samsung Fitness Centers. So if you have any questions, just let us know. I'm happy that y'all jumped on the call. Orlando?
Morning, everyone. My name's Orlando. Call me Coach Orlando. Orlando really does not matter to me, but thank you for joining us this morning. Hopefully you all leave with some real tangible pieces of information that you can apply, not just to the gym, not just to working out, but hopefully we can give you a little bit of guidelines on kind of how we balance everything from work to working out to our personal life, all those types of things. And hopefully some of the techniques that we use will also help you out. And then we'll all come together for the next 4 weeks now or 3 weeks now and see what kind of actual tangible changes we can make together.
Awesome. Thanks, Orlando. Go ahead, John.
Cool. What's up, everyone? My name is John. You can call me John, Coach, whatever you like. It's fine with me. What I'm looking forward to mostly of this program is doing kind of a deep dive into not only creating a goal, but the execution of that goal. All of us right now, we all have goals, but we sometimes miss the execution part or don't do it as well as we want to do it. So I'm really looking forward to doing a deep dive in there. And I hope none of you are Duke fans or Kentucky fans because they are not in the NCAA tournament this year. So.
All right, awesome. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
So first things here, I want to just give a brief overview on the program itself. I know we're a week in, so you have a general understanding of what the program is and what to expect. But in case you have any questions, this is a 4-week behavior change program. Our goal, like Orlando was saying, is to give you resources, give you tools, and give you guidance on setting smart goals, creating healthy habits, overcoming obstacles and barriers that we'll face, and celebrating our successes together and creating a support system that we really need when developing habits, especially this time where we are really not seeing people, really not interacting with people as much as we're used to. So we want to create a community virtually. And you may be wondering how you can win this program. Obviously, you can win it by making great goals and achieving them, but it's also a chance to win prizes. So the top 5 people with the highest participation rates will be entered for a chance to win a prize. So you can participate like you're doing right now by attending this workshop. If you can't make the live, we'll always have a recording go out the following week and just ask you to answer a couple questions, and you get points that way. You can turn in your weekly checklist on Friday today, and you can attend our live group exercise classes or live stretch breaks. Does anyone have any questions? John, if you want to man the chat for me and see if anyone has any questions on the actual program itself before we get started with week 1's topic. Any questions?
Chat's good. Just common sense for everybody real quick. If you are my team, Orlando's team, Courtney's team, Sony's team, make sure you reach out to us individually so that way we can keep track of everything. You can feel free to reach out to me if you are part of Courtney's team or Orlando's team, and I'll make sure that those emails get sent out, but just kind of align yourself with your coach.
Yeah, definitely. All right, awesome. So no questions on the actual program, then we're gonna get started with our week 1 topic, which is the art of goal setting. And really, we're going to try and just break down what makes change so difficult and why, like John was saying, is it so difficult to set a goal and then execute on that goal and really achieve it. I mean, every year we set resolutions, we set habits set for ourselves, and we all can relate in struggling to really adopt sustainable long-term change in our life. It's hard to do, which is why this program exists, why you signed up for this program. Otherwise, there would be no need, right? If it was something that's easy to do. So we want to break down this today, what makes achieving a goal so difficult. And if we can understand that process, then we can be prepared for the barriers and the obstacles that are going to come our way, and we can plan for them. So one reason change is so difficult is we can kind of like get caught up in the fantasy of a goal and idolize kind of what that goal might be. And while that's really motivating for the start of a goal, it doesn't really help you plan for anything. You're not creating any actionable changes. You're just like saying, oh, it would be so great if I, read more, for example, but you don't create a plan. You don't know when you're going to do this, how you're going to do this, where you're going to do this. And therefore you get started, right? And then a barrier, an obstacle comes your way. You haven't prepared for it. So you just give up and you have to go all the way back to point A. So that's one reason, just idolizing and setting a goal without creating a plan. Another reason is we actually get caught up in that planning process and rather than the goal. So we set our goal and then we think about all the things we have to do to reach that goal. And this one is really common, especially in our industry. Like if, for instance, weight loss, we decide, okay, I'm serious about this. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get healthier. So you Google it and you get an influx of all of these ideas and ways in which you can lose weight. And it becomes really overwhelming. And it's difficult to work through those, all of those perspectives and opinions on how you can achieve this goal. So you don't even start. You're just like, this is too much. I'm not going to even try. It's too much effort and my goal is maybe too big, and I'm not able to break down that process accordingly. So you don't even start. Another reason that we're really going to focus on today in this program is trying to place more importance on singular habits and smaller habits and really breaking down that larger goal that we can either get caught up in the goal or caught up in the process and trying to place importance on those smaller habits. That's really what this program is going to be about. But it is difficult to do that because a singular behavior or a small habit is not that motivating. A large, exciting goal is motivating. But a singular habit repeated over time is what's going to really create change. So where you're at in your life right now is because of all those habits you have adopted in your life previously, right? So a lot of times we get caught up in this, like where we're at now, but really what we should be thinking about, what I have here on the screen for you is like, where are we headed? What are we doing every day over and over again on repeat that's going to take us somewhere? So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we all have those systems in place that are taking us somewhere. And we want to learn, like, how can we place more importance on those singular behaviors and singular habits? Because, for example, let's say I get home from work. This has happened to all of us. We've set the goal that we want to be healthier. So we're going to work out. That's our goal. We're working out every day. But I get home and I'm tired. So I don't work out. I just say I'll do it tomorrow, right? It's all or nothing for me. Well, I wake up the next day and my weight hasn't changed. My body looks pretty much the same. It doesn't really matter that I skip that workout in that instant. But if I do that over and over and over again, we all know it's going to add up and it's going to make a difference. But in the moment, it doesn't matter. So we are creatures of instant gratification. We want that result now, which is why, like these huge goals sell and these huge, diet plans and like lose weight overnight, it sells because that's what we want. We want instant gratification. So we have to flip this. We have to find a way to make small habits and small behaviors matter. And that's what we're going to get into here. Any questions, John, so far? Nope.
We're good.
Good.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so that's what we're going to get into here. How can we make those small habits matter? Here we have your 3 layers of change. Outcome layer, which is our results-based goals. So I want to lose weight. I want to get that job. We're all familiar with the outcome goal setting process. The problem with outcome goals, not that they're not good, we do need them, but the problem with them is when we only acts in a small way, it doesn't move the needle much in an outcome perspective. So we want to shift that. The process layer is the middle layer, which is our systems and habits that we employ to reach that outcome. This process or this layer really does matter. It's the work that you have to do. And then the identity layer is who you are. It's what you stand for. It's what motivates you and what drives you. And if we start to shift our mindset from that outcome perspective to the identity perspective, small habits really start to matter, because you're essentially building this body of evidence that you are this type of person that acts in this type of way. So it places more importance on a singular habit. I like to think about it like this. If you have bucket A and you have bucket B, bucket A is who you are currently. It is obviously you're trying to shift something about that in bucket A. You're trying to improve bucket A, right? Bucket B is the identity you're trying to achieve. It is maybe it's you are a healthier person, right? We're trying to get into bucket B. If I'm only focused on my outcome, doing 5 push-ups doesn't matter, because it's not going to change my weight. It's not going to change my body. So I'll just skip it. 5 push-ups, if I am trying to develop this type of identity, it's like you're pouring a little bit of water into bucket B, right? And over time, bucket B, which is the identity I'm trying to achieve, gets weighed down and weighed down and weighed down. And eventually have this body of evidence that this is the type of person that you are. And when you identify, let's say, for example, as a healthy person, it's easier to make those healthier decisions than it is to say, I'm not really a healthy person, but I want to lose weight. So it's like you're working against yourself in that way. And it's much easier to prove yourself right. I think we all know that, than it is to prove yourself wrong. So if you can slowly build that body of evidence and put water in bucket B, you prove to yourself over and over again that you're that type of person, and it becomes easier to make those types of decisions. So it places more value on a singular habit that gets repeated over time when you focus on that identity mindset shift versus an outcome. Now, it's not to say that all of these layers are important, but that identity mindset shift helps place value on day-to-day tasks. So that is kind of like our main focus, our overarching goal here. But how to do that? We have to shift our mindset, and we have to start thinking about like who we are and what we want, but create like an alignment with our outcomes and with our vision statement. So on Monday, you guys received this worksheet, hopefully. This is called your 7 steps to finding your motivation. Hopefully you guys have taken a look at it. If you haven't, when we break off into our smaller groups, you guys can ask questions and we'll dive a little deeper into this worksheet. But it's really cool. It does take some level of introspection, and you have to like really sit with it. So take your time with this worksheet. But essentially what you're doing is identifying who you are, what you stand for, and what drives you. So on the left-hand side, you'll choose 9 words that stand out to you. You'll write them down. And then on the right-hand side, you're creating a vision statement using at least 3 of those words. And this vision statement is you depicting your like ideal life. What does it look like when you're living your best life? You write that statement out. And then when we go to our goals, which is the next sheet we're going to look at, our vision statement and our outcome goals should align. And if they're not, and they're going opposite ways, we're crossing paths here, then we will need to reassess our goals. If our goals are not in alignment with our vision statement, they're not going to happen, and they're not going to be sustainable. And ultimately what we want is sustainable long-term change. So we will dive deeper into this as we go, but it's a great worksheet to look at. And at the end, you actually create a motivational statement that's kind of like your mantra, and you should be able to have that somewhere you'll see every day, so like your desk or a fridge or something. And then let's get into our actual goal setting. So this is, again, what most people are familiar with. Probably typically SMART goals is what most people are familiar with. We gave you 3 worksheets to choose from on Monday. You don't have to do all 3, but you're welcome to do whatever suits you best. They're going to kind of like hit different points. So you want to choose the worksheet that's going to resonate with you. But this is really important in that like actually writing down your goals really matters. Just saying arbitrary goals doesn't allow you to plan for them and really think about them. Because if we're setting the wrong goal, which is a really big reason why we don't reach our goals, then we're going to employ the wrong habits and the wrong systems to get there. So we want to make sure we're setting the right goal, and we want to make sure the goal that we're setting. If you guys are in the chat, can you hit mute in your Zoom that we can hear? Okay. Thank you. So when we're setting goals, we want to keep in mind that they're in alignment with our vision statement, and that they're in alignment with our life. So if we're setting a goal, it doesn't actually fit into our life. The symptoms are always going to come back. I like this habit or this example I heard about this topic was, imagine you get motivated to have a clean space, right? So you get motivated, you clean your room, and the outcome obviously is you have a clean room, which is great. That was your goal. But 2 weeks later, you look back and your room is a mess because you didn't change any of your systems, or you didn't change any of your habits that led to that goal. So you solved for the outcome, but you didn't solve for any of the symptoms. So our goal with this program is to solve for both, to create that outcome, but then create that valley of work that has to happen to get to that goal and not allow us to rebound back. That happens a lot with like weight loss. That's a big one. You know, we achieve the weight loss and then we slowly kind of regress and we're back at point A. We don't want that to happen to you, to any of us. So we want to find how can we solve for the symptoms and not just the outcome. So that's our goal setting. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about this when we break off into our smaller teams. And our last worksheet is the action plan. So this is where we get to take actionable items or actionable steps to creating our lasting change that we're looking for. Essentially, what we're doing here is taking our goal that we created, taking our vision statement and breaking it down into smaller tasks that we can do that ultimately lead to the goal. So this just makes our goal manageable and less overwhelming. So this is really simple. We're going to kind of do more work like this in week 2 with breaking down our habits, but this is a good starting place. So essentially all you're doing is taking your goal, let's say your goal, let's generalize it and say it's to be healthier. Maybe it is weight loss. One of your objectives is probably going to be to drink more water. So your task is going to be to have a water bottle on your desk and a water bottle at home. Your criteria may be, I want to drink 4 of these bottles a day, so I need to have 4 check marks on a sheet of paper every day. And what you're going to need to do to achieve that is buy a water bottle. So you just creating a plan, and it does seem really simple and obvious, but unless we're taking the time to focus on this, no steps are going to be taken. Can't just have a goal and not have any steps to get there. And our last little thing we want to talk about here that is just important for our mindset and important to keep in mind on this journey is not to let goals restrict your happiness. This is a big one. I think that isn't really talked about in our industry much, but it is huge, and it happens all the time. It happens to all of us, is we say, I'll be happy when, right? Like, I'll be happy when I see that number on the scale that I want to see. I'll be happy when I fit into those pants I've been wanting to fit in, right? And so essentially we're working for that finish line, that goalpost, but that goalpost is over before you know it. Like, you get to the goal and then what? All of the work is your life, right? And we shouldn't just be waiting to be happy until we reach that goal. So it's our job to find ways to make that process more enjoyable, really. And there are so many ways to do that. And that's really what this program over the next 3 weeks is going to dive into. How can we make the process enjoyable and realistic as well? So that is kind of like I wanted to make sure we got like a general outline of all of our topics for week 1, maybe give you a different perspective on goals as well, by shifting our mindset from only thinking about an outcome and shifting our mindset to more like an identity-based shift. And lastly on here, we have your action item checklist. I just wanted to review this. If any of the items that you completed, you will just check it off. You can screenshot it or download it and send it to your coach, or you can just let your coach know what you've completed. You're welcome to turn in your worksheets as well, but we realize those can be kind of personal. So if you don't want to share that with your coach, you don't have to. But this is your weekly checklist. This is our way of saying all of the talking that we're doing is great. It's educational, but unless we're taking actionable steps, we're not going to see any progress, right? So this is our way of trying to double check that we're doing both. And that is really it. Next week, we're going to talk about our habits. We're going to break habits down. We're going to learn so many strategies and techniques to, one, start our habits, and two, keep them going. Both are really important. And there's so many strategies that aren't really talked about often that we're going to discuss. So I think what we're going to do now, Sony,
Yes.
I will stop sharing and I will give the host back to you. And then we'll split off into smaller groups for about 10 minutes, give you guys a chance to ask questions and discuss a little bit more intimately this topic. So let me give, where are you at, Sony? There you go. Give Sony the host back. All right.
All right.
There you go, Sony.
Perfect. So I'm going to break out. Let me rename them again. I'm going to break out y'all into the breakout rooms really quickly with your assigned coaches. And rename John. Give me.
Okay, and while you're doing that, Sony, I'm going to answer some of the questions in the chat. So someone asked if when we do the live class, can we watch the recording of it? Yeah, absolutely. So if you, obviously we realize everyone's schedules are different. So if you do the class on demand, just take a screenshot of it or a video or a picture of yourself taking the class so we can give you credit for it. And that goes for stretch breaks as well. All right, and if anyone has any initial questions, you guys can throw them in the chat, maybe based off of the conversation we just had, the discussion we just had, or based off of just the program itself. If you have any questions on how the program itself is going to go, while Sony is breaking us up into chat.
Orlando. Okay, perfect. Move to, I'm almost done. Ryan.
Okay.
Ryan is Team John. Scott is Team John. Orlando.
Yeah, so the program is only 4 weeks. It was initially going to be 6 weeks, but obviously with the winter storm and everything that happened, we had to push it back a little bit and try and fit it in. So it is only 4, but we're always here. So we're not going anywhere after the 4 weeks. All right, I think we're able to split off into.
Assigned to Orlando. Hold on. To Orlando.